And today, WHSV's Camille Kidwell spoke with Virginia Senator Tim Kaine to get some reaction.
And how Congress hopes to move forward with the various allegations. Camille.
Senator Kaine could not emphasize enough that the situation with President Trump and former FBI Director James Comey is urgent. In fact, he said the news that the president fired Comey last week was, quote, incredibly explosive. Kaine says the main issue at hand is that there are two conflicting sides of the story. Comey says the president asked him to drop any criminal investigation into former National Security Advisor General Flynn. The White House denies it. This is why Kaine believes Comey must testify in front of Congress, which he has said he is willing to do if it is public. When he testifies, Kaine says the Judicial Committee needs all materials, the notes Comey said he has taken, and any memos or tapes recorded by the White House. It is then, Kaine says, that Americans need to hear from the president.
Once that is done, I do expect the president's going to have to answer questions about it. We wouldn't bring the president up to Congress, but the president can't hide from the press forever.
With Comey's testimony on record, Kaine believes the American people will then be able to tell who is telling the truth. Now, based on the answer to that question, some are asking if what Comey is saying to be true is indeed fact. Could this be grounds for impeachment? I'll break that down a little later on our News at 6.
Camille, thank you.
These voices are singing at a benefit concert in order to raise money to bring clean water back to Flint, Michigan. John, the goal of these classes is to give the community a better idea of what the Harrisonburg Police Department does on a daily basis and provide a way for officers to interact with those they serve.
Breaking right now, Jesse Matthew has just pled guilty to both the murder of Morgan Harrington and Hannah Graham.
And today we spoke with Virginia Senator Tim Kaine about these tensions in North Korea. WHSV's Camille Kidwell was on that call. Camille?
John, in response to the growing conflict in North Korea, Senator Kaine said it is never too late for diplomacy, despite how difficult that may be. When asked if he would support something like the Iran deal with North Korea, he said yes. But due to the fact that the U.S. has essentially zero economic ties with the nation, diplomacy is much harder to reach. Ultimately, he says it is China who has the power to use their leverage and engage with the nation.
It's not in China's interest to have an unstable North Korea with nuclear weapons right on its border. They have more to lose than we do. An unstable North Korea could lead refugees to flee into China. It could lead nations like South Korea and Japan right in China's neighborhood to decide they need more weapons. So we need to make that case to China that instability in the region hurts them more than it hurts us.
Today, Senator Kaine was among the 100 senators briefed by 4 top administration officials on these growing tensions. Coming up in your News at 6, I'll tell you what the senator has to say about the upcoming budget and how it will impact Virginia. John. The meeting will be at Mountain View Elementary School starting at 7 p.m. WHSV's Matthew Foltz will continue our coverage on this meeting. He'll have a full recap tonight on the Valley's Fox at 10. Bob. Senator Tim Kaine, as well as Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, also shared statements with WHSV about their initial take on the Republicans' health care plan. They both expressed concerns about its impact on folks in Virginia. You can read the full statements on WHSV.com.
Today, WHSV's Camille Kidwell spoke over the phone with Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, who doesn't agree with parts of the budget. Camille, from what I understand, he focused on 3 points that he calls broken promises.
That's right, Bob. Senator Kaine says 3 specific cuts in the budget go against what candidate Donald Trump promised to the American people. He says President Trump promised to help American workers with skills training and vocational education, but is slashing money for career technical programs. He said he would provide assistance for states with troubled economies, but is cutting things like community block grants. And lastly, he said he would not cut Medicaid or Medicare, a topic Kaine focused on due to its impacts here in the Commonwealth. Kaine says when you put together the cuts from the proposed American Health Care Act in addition to the new budget, it would lead to a $1.3 trillion cut in Medicaid over the next 10 years. In Virginia, a little over 1 million people are Medicaid recipients. This includes 600,000 children and 186,000 people with disabilities.
So this breaking of the promise is more than that. It's also a very harsh punishment against very vulnerable people.
Now, there are some aspects of the president's budget that Kaine does agree with, like the significant increase in military investments. We'll continue to have those details tonight on WHSV's News at 10.